I am super excited because on this special episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, I am hosting the amazing Bailey Weaver. But before I start talking to Bailey and mixing up the cocktail, I need to make those legal folks happy. So the primary purpose of this podcast series is to inform, entertain, and educate. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast series do not constitute legal or other professional advice, opinions, or endorsements of any kind. Welcome to the Martini Mortgage Podcast, episode 160. My name is Kevin Martini. I'm a certified mortgage advisor and producing branch manager, NMLS 143962, with the Martini Mortgage Group at Gold Star Mortgage Financial Group Corporation, NMLS 3446, equal housing lender. Woo! With all that said, let's go. On this episode, I'm honored to have Bailey Weaver. Hi, Bailey.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm going to tell you this real quick. Bailey is, for those that don't know, is a very experienced real estate agent who goes above and beyond for all of her clients. And one of the unique things are I have the ability to work with a lot of Bailey's families that she works with. And they're not just clients. They become part of her family. They become raving fans. And Bailey is also one of those rare folks. It's kind of like seeing a leprechaun riding a unicorn. Bailey is actually born and raised in Raleigh. So she has a deep knowledge of the real estate market as well as all things local. One more time, everybody, welcome Bailey.
Woo, I'm excited to be here.
Listen, I'm going to start off with some rapid fire questions. You have to pick between options that I'm going to ask. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so let's go. Do you prefer Instagram or the TikTok?
Instagram.
Now, with the Instagram, do you prefer Reels or do you prefer Post?
Definitely Reels.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this as a sidebar note. If you don't follow her on the IG, you never know what one of those Reels is going to be right now.
They're fun.
Speaking of right now in real estate, is it an opportunity or an opportunity missed?
It's an opportunity all day long for, I'd say, both buyers and sellers.
Both, not just buyers.
No, both. Yeah, absolutely.
So in the future, you think that real estate is going to be continue to be a great investment, not a bad one?
Correct. Definitely a great one, especially here in the Triangle. There's so much coming to our area that you just can't go wrong.
Fantastic. I mean, I just tell you this place is just green and growing, just so you know.
Right.
I remember when I first moved here, there was the 440. Since you're a longtime resident, you probably didn't even have the 540 when you grew up. Right.
There's some parts that I remember they were just trees, and now they're buildings and roads, and it's come a long way.
By the way, soon there's going to be a 640.
Oh.
Who knows? I don't know. That's a rumor. I'm starting a rumor here.
Oh, I see. I think it's a great idea.
Now, listen, this is a great question, and I'm going to tell you, some people at backyard BBQs always talk about this, so I'm going to go here and ask you real quick.
Okay, I'm ready.
I know it's a little bit outside your wheelhouse, okay? So give me your grace, all right?
Okay.
Yes or no? Does a person buying a home need to put 20% down to get a mortgage?
No. Why do first-time homebuyers think this? They don't. It's not necessary.
It's one of it's the tragic flaw myth of our industry. 20% low down payment options happen all day long. So if somebody told you that at a backyard barbecue, run. That guy knows nothing or that gal knows nothing, just so you know.
Right.
Now, I think I know your answer, but do you prefer a single-family home or a townhome?
I prefer a townhome. That's what I'm in. It's near and dear to my heart. It's easy to be here. Someone was just mowing my lawn while we were talking, so can't pass that up.
Really, a townhome is zero maintenance living in most of the cases, right? Because it's all
no doubt.
Community taken care of. Fantastic. Yes. By the way, I got to just say, just off topic real quick. Have you ever seen your neighbor bring the groceries in?
Yes.
I have never seen my neighbor bring the groceries in. So that's.
I bet they park in the garage. That's my guess.
There you go. But I'm just going to say to you, it's very weird. I'm wondering if I saw them, would I help them? The answer is probably no, because they haven't helped me bring mine in. But anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Are you fearful, Bailey, about the market we're in, or excited about it today?
I'm excited. We want it to be more of that balance and neutralizing. So I think it's a great market to be in.
That is a powerful word, neutralizing. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, listen, some people might be listening to this podcast that are in New York City. Some may be watching this podcast that are in California. And I know that you've been a native to this area. What are things that you love about the Triangle of North Carolina that you would want those people to know? Or even people that live here, would you want them to know?
Sure. I could go on and on all day long about it, but I would say my first thing is the local businesses here bring so much personality. You could drive down Falls of Neuse and you pass hundreds of local run businesses. And I just think that's so inspiring. Another thing is the location. You can get to the mountains, to the beach in just a matter of hours. We love a weekend trip to Emerald Isle. So that is amazing. But also, of course, schools, education, hospitals, there's a lot going here. And if you want to live in the city, you can do that. If you want to be more in the suburbs, you can do that. So whatever you want, I guarantee you we have it.
Yeah, I like to think Raleigh's a big city that you can't get lost in, has all the features of a big city. Broadway productions come here to the DPAC in Durham, also over here downtown Raleigh. RDU Airport, you can fly a plane direct to Iceland right now. Well, you've got to be a passenger in that plane, but yes, you can go to Vegas direct as well. So I know that you're a foodie, right?
Yes, I love it.
So what is your favorite restaurant in the Triangle of North Carolina?
There's two that I have to mention. The first one is Sassoul. Have you been?
I have not been to Sassoul, but they have multiple locations, don't they?
They do. They've got one in Raleigh on Strickland, so North Raleigh, and then also one in Cary. And then I'm not sure if there's one in Durham or not. I want to say there's a third, but it's Mediterranean and it's very casual. I go once a week. We're regulars there. We love it. And then the other one would be Village Grill at Lafayette Village.
Lafayette Village. What a great place, huh? What is it called again?
Village Grill.
Village Grill.
Yes.
Listen, I would just tell you this, that and those are just two places. Let me just tell you this. If you ever need a restaurant recommendation, call Bailey, just so you know.
I got you.
She has your back real quick.
Definitely.
You know, one thing, Bailey, that I have found is that there in the real estate arena, there's some agents and then there's some great agents, and you're one of the great ones. And I think that one of the things that you being an advocate for the customer, you don't have commission breath. You have a caring heart that you go after it for what's best for them. And one thing that I share when I was we were scheduling and having some talks about who to be on the episode, the one word was hustle describes you. So since we describe you as one that hustles and grinds and gets the job done, how do you define hustle?
I'd say hustle is just going after what you want and not letting anybody stop you. Keeping your eye on the prize.
Keeping your eye on the prize. And I got to just tell you, as you keep the eye on the prize, and I think one of the reasons that you're so successful, in my opinion, is you believe if you treat other people first, you'll never be second. And I got to just compliment you on that, because this lady will hustle for you. So why and how did you get into real estate?
Well, previously I was a sales rep for a gift company and I loved it. But when the pandemic hit, it changed the company. So I had to make a decision. Do I stay with the changes or do I start something new? And my aunt had always said I would be great at real estate. I love people. I love helping people. I know the area like the back of my hand, and home is just so important to me personally. So I love having the opportunity to help people find their stability and gain some financial assets while doing so.
Well, let me just tell you this. I have found one great thing that happened with the pandemic. Bailey Weaver got into real estate. How awesome is that?
Thank you.
I'm just going to share with you, this industry is better off having you in it, just so you know. And I know that the families you serve can go ahead and echo that sentiment. So what is the most memorable, your most memorable moment of your real estate career?
Okay, it doesn't happen too often. So far, right. My favorite thing, hands down, is when I get to be with my clients, my buyers, when they're in the house showing it off to their friends and family for the first time. The pride and the joy that they are just exuding, it's inspiring, and all their hard work has paid off. So that's really my favorite part.
You know, it reminds me of a story that you don't just help people find a roof. You help people find a home.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how big the home is. It matters how happy they are. And that is just a great testimony on that. You know, Bailey, I don't believe there's such a thing as a bad real estate market, nor do I think there's anything such as a good real estate market.
Right.
There's just real estate markets, right? Would you agree to that?
Yes, definitely.
And since you agree, in the current real estate market, what are the opportunities if one is a first-time home buyer? And what are the challenges if one is a first-time home buyer today?
Sure. The opportunities are kind of endless right now. You don't have to compare it to last year, right? You don't have to do crazy over asking, wild due diligence amounts. You don't have to waive inspections, waive appraisals. It's a lot. I would say it's a safer market. It was kind of a gamble last year. So that's
like
a huge
the wild,
opportunity.
wild west, right?
The wild, wild west. That's right. There's also a lot of incentives right now with builders. So I think that's a huge opportunity for buyers. And then challenges. The first one that comes to mind is just them comparing their situation to somebody else's, maybe from last year. You know, my friend got this, I want that, but it's a new market and there's benefits to both sides.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. Yeah. I think you used the word called neutralized.
The market's neutralizing, balancing. I personally don't love the word shift. It kind of has a negative sound to it. So neutralizing, balancing, because we're currently experiencing this change.
And so let's talk about the elephant in the room. And the elephant is saying that if you're listening and you have not purchased a home or things of that nature, I just need to let you know the mortgage is going to cost you a little bit more today than it did last year.
Sure.
I'm also going to share with you that you probably have a little bit more selection of options of homes that are available than your friends did.
Correct.
And I think you got a little bit more runway to get that, to make a decision on that house real quick. So the reality is right now is an opportunity. Now, speaking of threats and opportunities, what about a repeat home buyer that has a house to sell? Is it an opportunity? Sure. What's going on? What's your thoughts?
Sure. They've got a lot of opportunity there. If you price it right, that home's going to sell quickly. Pricing it right, staging it, all of that is just so important. The ones that are priced correctly, I repeat it a lot, but that is key. So there's a lot of opportunity there. They've got a lot of equity in their house, a lot more than they probably realize. But the challenge is, I'd say a lot of these sellers are watching the news and they hear the doom and gloom that they see on the news. Yeah. And that's on a national level. That's not on a local level here in the Triangle. So my advice to them would be just go talk to your realtor and see what's going on the local level.
Yeah. So the one thing is that the headlines are scary, and headlines help clicks and headlines help sell ads and things of that nature. But there's three words in real estate: local, local, local. Maybe it's location, 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 but I'm going to change it to local, local, local.
Right.
And even within one market, there are hyper local markets that are there as well. So what's happening in Chicago is not happening in Raleigh. What's happening in Dallas might not be happening in Cary. And the reality is that we experienced during the pandemic unprecedented growth.
Right.
And the reality is that as we're normalizing right now, neutralizing, balancing, we're balancing into a normal environment. Homes are still appreciating. They're just not appreciating as fast as they have.
Right. I love the visual. I have to visually put it for my sellers, a lot of the buyers and sellers, a lot of the time that we were going uphill real fast. And we still are going uphill, but maybe just not at the same rate of speed, you know? So it's we were here, now we might be here, but we're still
We're not going here, folks, just so you know. Real quick. We're going here, not here. It's actually great. So the fact of the matter is appreciation has decelerated. However, according to the Home Price Expectation Survey, which is the top 100 market movers and over 100 market movers and strategists, they're predicting the 5-year cumulative appreciation to be about 25%. So green and growing at this point. Yes, rates are a little bit higher, but remember, what a great time to marry the house and date the rate.
Absolutely.
If somebody is renting right now, what do they need to know?
Well, I think there's a time and a place for rentals if you maybe aren't ready to purchase a house. But if you are, gosh, there's so much to know. First, it's never too early to start talking about your options for purchasing. Never too early. Another thing is you're helping the landlord pay their mortgage. You are paying their mortgage, actually. You're paying it, and you're also putting cash in their pocket. So flip that, get your own mortgage, and start putting cash into your own pocket so you can reap those benefits.
Right. And let me also say this, is that you said it brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
When you rent, you're paying a mortgage. You're just paying your landlord's mortgage. By the way,
yeah.
I talked to a client that once said, hey, Kevin, I don't want to buy because I'm going to have to deal with the maintenance. Well, let me just tell you this. The maintenance cost is built into your rent. And I think a lot of people will be surprised at what their options are with low down payment, what their credit score needs to be, because there's a lot of myths about the mortgage business. But
Right.
I think it's also never too soon to have that conversation with a real estate agent. And by the way, Bailey is very equipped to do that. Bailey, would you agree that it doesn't matter if you just signed a lease yesterday, having developing a game plan, not a substitute?
Yes. And I think the big point with that would be if there's something on your credit that maybe you aren't aware of, or the credit score that you see online isn't the exact same one as what you lenders pull. So I think if there's something wrong with it, or you need to maybe improve it a little more, the sooner you talk to somebody, the more time you have to fix that, and it won't push your timeline. And then you'd have to do month to month or something like that, which would just push it back even more.
Right. And I know that you were working with a client that recently signed a lease.
Mm-hmm.
And the advantage to that client is they were able to build a new house. Is that correct?
Yes. So you can time it right. If you build a house, say you do a semi-custom, go under contract, do your deposit, and then you don't pay anything until you move in say 6 months or so. So if you wait till you have 4 or so months left of your lease, you're kind of excluding the opportunity of new construction.
That's a smart point. And one of the things that Bailey will do when you speak to her, Bailey, what's your telephone number somebody can contact you at?
It's 919-455-3811.
Okay, and for the people in the back that weren't paying attention, Bailey, say it one more time.
919-455-3811.
Let me give you a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
The time you spent with Bailey, whether you're buying now or in the future, consider your options. Should you buy, continue renting? Listen, there's nothing wrong with renting. There is a time to rent. That time ain't now, in my opinion, real quick, just so you know.
No.
But Bailey will give you an honest answer and help you develop the game plan to get into your home real quick.
Right.
Now, listen, let's kind of shift gears. We were talking about renters. Let's talk about someone that owns a home, okay?
Sure.
And they know that they're going to outgrow that home in the future. Or worse, they've already outgrown their home already.
Right.
What do they need to do?
They need to call their realtor, and they need to make a list of things, what's missing in their house. If they could build something, or if they could have a perfect home, what is it that they don't have currently, so they know when it's time to sell, they can be laser focused on what they're looking for. And there's a lot of opportunities out there that they may not realize, like seller possession after closing. That's a great tool. So there's strategies for when you're selling a house.
By the way, so let's get laser focused on that seller possession after closing.
Sure.
So I wanted to give you what my understanding. How about you explain to me what it is?
Sure. So if you're selling a house and you get an offer in on a house and they say they want to close in 30 days, you could ask for seller possession after closing, meaning that you close on the house. However, you become a tenant of that property. And in this market, sometimes we're seeing it for free. So you stay in your house after you've already sold it, and you're just in there for like 30 to 60 days. So you then have the profits from your sale, so you can go and purchase your house.
That makes you a cash buyer after you sold, and there's plenty of opportunities right now. Again, as Bailey said earlier, well, I don't know if she said it, but I'm going to paraphrase. Listen, it was the Wild Wild West when the pandemic was around. You would see a house at 9 o'clock,
Right.
and most likely it was already under contract by the time you put the key in the door for the lockbox.
Right.
Right now, buyers have a little bit more opportunity to actually level the field out a little bit. So it's a great, that is a great point. Seller possession after closing. That's great.
Yeah.
What is a question
Okay.
that you wish someone would ask you about real estate?
I wish that they asked me this, but they do ask me this a lot is, if rates are going to drop, say next year, why don't I just wait till then to buy? And I love that question because there's, again, the opportunity. There's so much opportunity out here that buyers don't realize. And it's the new construction. It's not having to go crazy over list price. As soon as rates do drop, it's going to be multiple offers and that kind of thing, which is going to then increase that price. So do it now while the opportunity is in your court.
Right. It goes back to my adage. It's a great time to marry the house, date the rate.
There you go.
The top 100 experts are predicting homes are going to appreciate up to 25% over the next 5 years, cumulative appreciation. Now, granted, here's the deal. Rates today are higher than they were before. Guess what? You know what else is higher? Rent. Just so you know.
Yes.
So number two, there might be an opportunity that you can refinance that loan and things of that nature. So the thing of it is that economics 101. If rates do go down, which is very likely at the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, it's probably going to be a rinse and repeat, supply and demand that we experienced during the pandemic. So go ahead and take action on that. Listen, again, it's never too soon to have a confidential conversation with no pressure with someone that has a servant heart, and that's what Bailey does. Bailey, give me your telephone number so they can give you a call again one more time.
919-455-3811.
Fantastic. So let me ask you one thing that people are generally surprised to find out about you.
Okay, we kind of touched on it earlier, but I'm born and raised here. My dad is born and raised here. And then my grandparents on his side actually grew up in Lillington. So we're all North Carolina. We go way back. You are just it.
I think one thing people need to know is that you are purple.
Gold.
That's right. ECU, not NC State, just so you know. And I'm sorry about your loss this year.
No, it's okay.
Can you share where people can find out more about you? I think your website, let me just say it's baileyweaver.exprealty.com, baileyweaver.exprealty.com.
Yes.
You can talk to Bailey personally by dialing 919-455-3811. 919-455-3811. You're on the Facebook, you're on the Instagram, you're on the TikTok. I'm just going to tell everybody right now. If you're not following Bailey Weaver on the actual Instagram, you're missing out on some very impactful reels that she does real quick.
We have fun there.
I know how precious time is here real quick. And we're going to, as we wrap this up, is there one thing that you want someone to know that might be thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate that we haven't covered today?
Reach out, and we're going to have fun doing it. You're not going to regret it. There's a time and a place for everything, and it's our goal, both me and you, to help them reach their goal. So we got you. We got your back.
Listen, my name is Kevin Martini. This is Bailey Weaver, an amazing person. I encourage you to reach out to her and say, hey, Bailey, help. And she will go ahead and do that with no pressure. Again, Bailey Weaver, I'm Kevin Martini. This was episode 160 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.